It is, isn't it? It is. It's gonna allow her to be used.
To stand.
Our fellow Rotarians and most all due to the our Rotary meeting here today, to lead us in the prayer four-way test, our Senator Dayna Ritchey.
Wayne, before I do the prayer, I want to tell you a little story. Here. Flashback to the 70s, this was a different county, late 70s. I was a patrolman on the Florence Police Department. It was a beautiful Sunday morning. I had my White Castle coffee, wasn't expecting to do anything but sit around. And I got this call over on Circle Drive that a car had run into a building. That was rather peculiar call on Sunday morning, and the people were injured. So I went over to, they said it was the corner of Circle and Edwards Drive. Local, like old time, you know where that is. So I go over there, can't find it. Man. All of a sudden, I see this bush that's completely mowed down, and I look over, and there's this car crashed into the side of the apartment building. So I jump out, and I run up, open up the door, and Kelly Dahl, some of you, I can't remember what her maiden name is, but Kelly Dahl, American plumber, she was driving, a young teenager. She got the gas pedal and the brake mixed up. She was on the way to church with her mother. And she thought she was hitting brakes and hitting and went through and crashed into that building. Her head was laid over. But there was a guy there doing first aid. And Joe Reynolds, raise your hand. First time I ever laid my eyes on him. He lived in a house right there on Evans Drive, and he had come running out of his house here, crashed and run the race. And Joe and I have been friends ever since. And I understand you made me join Rotary. I hope you did. Will you pray with me, please? Heavenly Father, we ask that you rain down your blessing on our community. We thank you for Rotary. We thank you for this fellowship and sistership. I am so thankful to be back from Frankfurt and back together with my Rotary family. I'm thankful for the input and the feedback that I received from this Rotary family. Bless our work. We have special blessings on all those who are hurting, especially in Ukraine. Please protect them and bring them victory. We ask these things in your holy name. Amen. Amen. Four-way with me, please. The four-way Rotary. First
Is the truth.
Second.
Is it fair to all concerned?
Third.
That both will benefit us.
Fourth.
Will be beneficial to all concerned. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, a nation under God, liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I will speak as loud.
New perceptions.
Yeah, hey, where's Wayne? Wayne? Well, they want. You want to keep putting it back. That's not good. That's not place. That's not how you protect people in the rear. But anyway, then we have the NFL draft this Thursday. So we have some excitement coming to Cincinnati. That'll be good. But we do the visitors here. We have Greg Golka. That's the Arnold. Greg. Greg, go stand up and tell us what you do. And the rest of the visitors, this is what we're going to do.
Okay. So, my name's Greg Golka. Which I do back to Volland, Kentucky. I retired from federal law enforcement, 12 years of active in the Air Force, 20 years. Retired about 2017. Back here in Volland, Kentucky. I totally came away for about 2 years. Just recently, that's been about August of last year, I along with several others here are with the Armed War Kentucky Colonels. And I don't know if anybody, I'm not going into the history, but just know that the Colonels used to have chapters years ago. And as of last year, we decided to go ahead and try to reinvigorate that program and have chapters at the local level. So we started the journey of the chapter here in North Kentucky back in August of last year. We actually became a chapter, official chapter in January of this year. So I'm the president of the local chapter of
Chad Watson. Peter Whiteman.
Chad Watson, Fifth Third Bank. I'm a business banker, former Rotary member. Coming back, shifted how they use us, so I wasn't able to attend the past, but we'll get back.
Bill needs to introduce Gil Fowler. Gil, you want to yeah. Okay, great. What an honor to be the presence of Monty Taylor. I know more about what you don't do. How you doing? It's great to be back.
I'm Monty Taylor. I am a former Rotarian. I work with the 90 Regional Chamber. So, Shaman, I do have a job.
Gainfully employed, that's a problem. And I still look for you pay for lunch, yeah.
Be back on board with Dr. Michael back and divisions. I still do not anyway. So great to see everybody.
Great to see you, big guy. Welcome back.
I'm still talking to you.
Okay, how many coaches did you have there? We're gonna take it training now, so we'll see if that's the next year. But you have to have that probation or something. Okay, we'll move on from the little part. Gina Wesley. Yes. Welcome, Gina.
Hi, thank you so much. I'm Dr. Dayna Ritchey, professor of medicine, former biological weapons person, writing a lot of grants, and really excited to be here.
Welcome.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for being here. We're a tie next week. I think he's out kick recovery for this group. I can still tell you that. Well, Stephen Swan, Mr. Florence Hardware. Welcome, Stephen.
This one, I don't know if I would.
You got to follow in Wilhelm's footsteps, but Ralph's really the only one you had to follow. been in there, I know that. Well, you guys did a great job, it was amazing, thank you.
My name is Chris Lewis. I'm a former council employee, the Recruiter. I've done living in the terms, I know a lot of people. I'm just a little bit on the table. I work for the IRS. I used to be an international auditor. It was nice to meet you guys. So I'm no longer an international auditor, however, I am a person that does help bring some of the forms and directions, publications that you guys know. And probably the computer and for the seats will be together. So, but I just wanted to meet you guys, I'll talk to you, and my wife is real.
Sounds like we've already met you. That's good. Man, that's awesome, we are.
Real estate, specializing in seniors real estate. All I want to do is express my appreciation for that morning, consider that house went by, and our house is full trauma. There's only two more houses at the end of the street. I grabbed the nearest bathrobe I could find. We left that part out because I probably would have been arrested for these exposures. So, keep that part out.
Rocky Grimes. Welcome, Rocky. Tell us what you do.
I work for shelter insurance in Florence, Kentucky. I've lived in Bill Gilman. He used to built that to my cousin. He doesn't work for shelter anymore. He's out of fire.
Wow.
I've been with shelter for 6 years. Used to be and now we're going
every day, and all the folks there that just enjoy life no matter what's going on, and I appreciate that. And again, thanks to Dr. Colonels for coming out this past weekend and helping us out. Thank you, Mr. President.
Yeah, I'd like to thank everyone for coming today. We've got a half an hour. Club is very prominent on time, so we will leave at 1 o'clock. And unfortunately, we do have a lot of people that like to talk, so I will make sure that we stay on time. One of the best things I think about Rotary is it's an international organization. It's not just a local club, and the work that Rotary International does is absolutely incredible. And I love this quote. Rotary is a global network, 1.4 million neighbors, friends, leaders, and problem solvers who see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe, in our communities, and in ourselves. My goal today is just to give you a little slice of Rotary of all the projects we do within the community and all the good that we do within the community. And sometimes we are the unsung heroes where we do a lot of stuff behind the scenes that you have no idea that we did. So Barb, if you would like to come up and tell us some of the projects that we work on.
I have the honor to be speaking one, work with the one together. And so John Carroll and I both are co-chairs of the community engagement. And we are very lucky to put the I think it was get the honor of our teacher in March, which was a fabulous event with honoring local teachers from Boone County. We honored 4 teachers, and some of their co-workers came and their families, and the superintendent of Walton Verona and also to the county. I met. And so it was a wonderful event. And then our next one is Citizen of the Year, which will be sometime in August, is usually when we have that. And so we are soliciting nominations for Citizen of the Year. If anyone has someone they would like to nominate, give me a call, and the nomination form should be on our website. Along with that, we do many other things, including the golf outing, which is always the first Friday in October. And that's a lot of fun. Sean kind of heads that up. And we've had anywhere for how many teams, Sean? Foursome. And it's a great day, and we always order sunshine out there at Hickory Stick, which you think you're going to the other end of the earth when you go there. But it's absolutely gorgeous out there. And then some of the other events that we take part in is the Sign for Toy Drive, where we collect toys for our community, and thousands and thousands of toys are donated each year to this wonderful organization. And then we have a fishing outing, which is this year is on May the 7th, and that's going to be out at New Day Ranch. And also, let's see, we have participated in the Memorial Day event in the city, and we have participated in Veterans Day event as well in the city. And then we just have a lot of different things that we do, and it's just to engage our community in the Rotary Club, and to honor some very special people throughout our community.
What are the fundraisers we have coming up? And it looks like we're going to have a larger crowd this year. Mark, if you'd like to come up and say a few words.
Is June 18th, same place as it's been for a while at Lloyd. A lot of lights there. Currently, we have 8 sponsors, so we're at about 5,000 in the bank already, which is a good start. And the 5 events that we had over the 6 years, didn't have one in 2020. We have netted $27,600 for the foundation. So that's our goal, is to get as many sponsors as we possibly can. We currently have 8. Last year we had 17, 6 of which were non-Rotary members. They were invited by Rotary people. So our best thing that we can do is to get sponsorships. That means they want to come out and shoot. That's awesome. But sponsorships at $500 really help the foundation. So our goal is to get as many sponsors as we can possibly get. Like I said, last year we had 17, our best year for sponsorship. We actually cleared $7,800. $7,800 last year.
Wow.
Planning to do, to be able to do that, that means you all have to get involved. We can't be just 1 or 2 people trying to call all people that they know to get sponsorships or shooters. It's up to membership as a whole to reach out to people they know and ask people if just half of you are successful bringing in a sponsor. That's probably going to be about 15 more sponsors that we had last year. So that's our goal, is for everyone to at least make the ask. Worst thing that could happen is someone said they say no. Best thing that could happen is they say yes. Awesome.
The next man needs no introduction. And he likes to talk. So I've already had a little chat with him to say, okay, can we keep this between 3 and 5 minutes? And he loves to talk about his Christmas songs. No. Well, the Christmas concert last year was absolutely phenomenal. It was so great to see everyone come back. We raised over $10,000. So Gary, tell us about it. Okay, thank you. At Hershey, I'm the only one who puts restrictions. How many been to the park? You know the big room they have in there? If you were in there, the big screen they have and all of this. The Creation Museum, since November, October, they closed down what's called the Legacy Hall. They've been remodeling it. Yesterday was the grand opening. And that big screen and all they have down at the art now is here. We are going to have a concert this Christmas at the Creation Museum. We're going to have 2 concerts. On December 5th, we're going to be at the Lakeside Christian Church, as always. And we hope to have a good crowd there. We're going to have the next concert next week, Monday night, the same, just a week later at the museum. Our ticket this year, one side is going to be the Lakeside Christian Church, the other side is going to be the museum. And we're going to have different songs. We have some of the same performers. I think Ken Ham is going to have him try to play the piano that night. I don't know if you know it, he's a great pianist. And then we'll have there's a new group called True Song. Southern Salvation at the Ark is not there any longer now. It's called True Song. Another group, they will be singing that night with us, plus some of our own people. So it's going to be exciting. We want you all to really get involved in this Christmas. We're going to really push this to have 2 concerts in a matter of 8 days, 7 days apart. And we've been doing these concerts. This will be our 63rd concert since 1985. So we've done a lot of concerts. And I had hair back then. So we're Billy Santo's daughter will sing. Gary Ryder singing in every concert we've had. All of them. So I want y'all to get excited for it. We're excited. And I got to tell one short. If we had 2 seconds. That's all I got there. His story was about a car running through the house. I had a car run through the house back in 78. Not me, but one of my customers. The lady went backwards, got her car stuck, but all the way back went to a yard, blew a tree up, knocked it over, the car exploded, went next door and broke the whole front yard, went into a house next door, going backwards the whole time. She had a beautiful ride. And that tree that she knocked over was Sean Carroll's house. So I got a story also. So thank you all. We're looking forward to this Christmas. Please be thinking about it. Get your friends and family involved. This Christmas, you're going to love going to the Creation Museum. Thank you. It seems like we have a theme here today. There's 2 things that I'm extremely proud of, and that's our senior exit interviews. And the other one is that all the money we raise from the golf outing, we give it all back to the community. And we give 8 $1,000 scholarships to high school seniors every year. And it's amazing to see these kids. And these seniors today, and this is, I got to attribute a lot of this to Madison County Schools. These kids are brilliant. And there's one picture floating around with me with a young African-American woman. Absolutely one of the sharpest women I've ever met. She wants to graduate in biological science. And so specializes in sea aquatics. So she's going to school at St. Petersburg, down in Florida. And I'm like, well, that's a pretty good gig. Yeah, I mean, your classroom's right there on the ocean. Gil, if you'd like to say a few words about what we're doing internationally, that would be great. Okay, thank you.
First, I want you to see my peanut butter sandwich. Because the first time I visited your club was at a night. So the second time I attempted to visit your club, that was assistant governor. I went to the old hotel. He said, no, we haven't seen Rotary for a long time. So then I called back after. That was busy, but he got back with me when it was almost time. But I had already arrived at the Nature Center parking lot.
and you weren't meeting here that day. So I thought, okay, you're taking my peanut butter and jelly sandwich every time I go to that club. And it got better than that because last time I took the visit club, I called Pat and said, Pat, nobody's there. He said, oh, we're just getting ready to sit down and over Quaker Steak and Lou. And I said, I'll be right there for that. So I left and went over there. And I asked the hostess, I said, you know where the Rotary meeting? And she looked at me like, kind of idiot. I mean, just really one of those looks that you've seen before. And about that time, Pat and Patty are over there at the bar. You know, come on over. Spring break day. I didn't know you were having spring break. So here's my peanut butter sandwich. Thank heavens I didn't have to eat it. So what I'm going to talk about today is something that brought me into Rotary just a few years ago. Brenda and I are Rotarians. She's the first partner spouse to join on a partner spouse membership. But before we joined Rotary, we knew that come retirement, we wanted to get into something where we could really believe in service above self. And so we had some friends that invited us to Rotary. I was Rotary back in the 80s for 3 months. I couldn't afford it then, and I couldn't be there every Tuesday, so I quit. So I knew a little bit about Rotary, but I thought, well, it's time to change. So I went online to myrotary.org. Write that down, please. If you haven't been to myrotary.org, please write it down. And then when you get back to your computer, how many of you have been on myrotary.org? Okay, nobody wrote it down, so you guys can go to myrotary.org and find out all the information I'm going to share with you today. So when we became Rotarians, one thing that attracted me to Rotary International. And like you said, Wayne, they're 1.4 million. And as assistant governor, I'll give you this fact, that when it comes to population, we're holding our own. We don't go forward, we don't go back, we have some attrition, but we always gain a few more, and we were at 1.2, so we're up. And I think we're going to be up after today, because some of you here today, if not all of you, are going to 150 Wayne Road. This club, it's active, exciting, it's overcoming COVID. It didn't just endure. You managed to raise some money, and assistant governor, I commend you. So I'm going to take off the assistant governor now and tell you what we discovered when we looked at Rotary. Did you know that Rotary Foundation has underwritten a program with the State Department of the United States of America? How many of you know about that? No one in our club knew that. But since I did go online and research Rotary International, I discovered something called the Open World Program. I called Tony Zimbrot. You know Tony and Jerry. He's a wonderful Rotarian. He is an All Care Society member, has been for years. And I said, Tony, do you know anything about Open World? Because it's in the international. He said, no, Gil. So we'll go on myrotary.org or look up openworldprogram.org. Make a long story short, we host 6 Russians into that day. 3 years ago, we hosted 6 Russians, all young leaders throughout the previous Soviet Union. And our program that we put together here in Northern Kentucky was around watershed management. Do any of you know Richard Harrison? Okay, Richard is in charge of Froelicher, which manages watershed over an 8-state area along the Ohio River. The Ohio River actually goes all the way up to the south corner of New York. I was talking a lot. So over 2 days in DC and 7 days in Northern Kentucky, these young Russian business people met with Froelicher and Chris Lorenz of Thomas More, and throughout the day, they went to the water testing station, you name it, they went throughout the metropolitan area of Cincinnati, discovering and sharing information on the watershed. It doesn't cost you anything. It's already paid for. You're able to work with Evanston, because these young Russians are still getting away with that if we less than Ukrainian. So since 1999, there have been in excess of 3,500 young Russian professionals visit the United States through the Open World Program. All the vetting is done to the State Department to do that. There was one person who did not make the vetting, and all the rest of the Russians did. They want to learn about what is happening in democracy and the free process. And I know that everybody in this club happens to be interested in both of those categories. So I want to say to you, I'm going to sit down, but please take a look at Open World Program, and even if you want to partner with the club, partner with one. You don't need to, because the parameters are arranged very quickly. Things are done on the environment, jury selection, politics, etc. So please talk to me about it. I'll give you specifics, but if you go to openworld.org, rotaryopenworld.org, you're going to be able to find it, and it's going to excite you because we have an idea that the Russian population is not all behind Vladimir Putin. We have a pretty good idea though. We don't know if this is still open or not. Oddly enough, next to Russia, the most participants in your configuration conflict has been from Ukraine. We have had wonderful opportunities throughout the U.S. to entertain Ukrainians, Russian people, and others. So it's basically the pre-Soviet bloc. You might, as an environmental person, I didn't get your name. Yes, Gina. It may be that something like this would excite you because they're very interested in healthcare, about anything that you can imagine, put together, and then have a subsidy. It could be pediatric cardiac surgery. Just think broadly and then begin to think specifically, put together something, and please let me help out. I'll be glad. Thank you.
Foundational meeting once, and the speaker was from Lexington, Kentucky. A great calmer put it together, and he was talking about being a full Rotarian. He was, just going to the meetings and just leaving, or being that Rotarian is such open, you would leave Rotarian club. And there's a gentleman in our club, his name was John Sawyer. And one of Rotary's international goals was to eradicate polio. And Rotary accomplished that goal. And he came back from a mission trip. And John was an ex-police officer, black and white type of fellow. And to hear him tell his story about being in Africa and administering the polio vaccination was that defining moment. Adam, would you like to speak about the foundation we put together with John Sawyer? Thank you.
All right, well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm your final speaker, so and you will get out here probably at 1 o'clock. So my name is Adam Howard. For those of you who might don't know, 2014 and 15, I served as the president of Florence Rotary. Interestingly enough, my connection to the Rotary Club goes back about 25 years from whenever I was one of the recipients of the scholarship. I was a student at Boone County High School, and the Rotarians that met that morning decided for the $1,000 scholarship, they were going to give it to the kid in common. But they liked me so much that they each kicked in a couple $100 at that table that morning. And so whenever everything was done, they actually had 2 scholarships. They gave one to me, they gave one to the other guy. So,
I'm gonna have a car story. Well, I am in insurance as well, and I do have some interesting stories. But listen, I can tell you a story about John Sawyer's cars. So John Sawyer's
Sayers was a friend of mine. He's a very close friend. John and Connie both passed away in 2020. Connie had been sick for a long time, and honestly, we had all thought that Connie was going to predecease John. John got sick. Both of them, I believe, died of cancer. But John died before Connie, and then Connie died less than 4 weeks later. So in the course of the last 2 years, we haven't had an opportunity to truly memorialize John and Connie, all that they have contributed. So now here's another interesting story, actually. When Billy Santos, Billy was being honored as the Rotary Heritage Hall of Fame member, I was starting to make the conscious decision to say, I'm going to kind of pull out of Rotary and get involved in other things. Billy called me and asked me to share a few remarks at this presentation. And so I said, okay, this will be my swan song. This will be the time whenever I'm okay, I'm going to hang it up. And John Sayers wrote a check to Florence Rotary Foundation and for $10,000. And as soon as I was made aware of that, Greg Palmer pulled me and Billy aside, and I said, heck on it, John, I was just getting ready to hang it up, and then you said, I have to keep going. So John and Connie gave this gift of $10,000 to Florence Rotary. And the foundation has taken it upon itself to take that gift and multiply it, to take that $10,000 and turn it into something that's more than just a one-time gift. John, actually, interestingly enough, John joined Rotary in May of 2005. 4 years later, we elected him, I guess elected is the right word. 4 years later, he became the president of our club. Another 4 or 5 years after that, he became the district governor. So I've been around this club for 25 years, and I've only been president once. And yet this guy comes on in 4 years, he's already the president and district governor. John was a veteran, he was a police officer, he was a field representative. Just a quick side note, John worked for Senator Bunning, I worked for Senator McConnell. We would travel to various places in Eastern Kentucky. We would play good cop, bad cop. I would be the person that would say, he's got a very good project here, and it's really tough right now, federal dollars for these kinds of things, but we'll take that into consideration. And John would say, yeah, it's a stupid project, we're not going to fund it. So, Connie was a teacher. She taught for over 30 years, specifically in middle school. She taught at R.A. Jones Middle School for a couple of decades and then switched over to Akron. The interesting thing is, I went to middle school, elementary middle school at St. Paul. Connie insisted for years that I was one of her former students. It was always interesting to me. She'd go, how are you? It's good to see you. You're one of mine, aren't you? No, Connie, no, I'm never your person. She traveled everywhere with John when he was the district governor. She dedicated a lot of hours to a variety of different ministries, a lot of different efforts. The Revive ministry specifically is one that they participated in. This was a ministry that takes women who are prostitutes or drug addicts. They come off the streets, and the Revive ministry is intended to put them in a religious and a spiritual place to bring them to Lakeside Christian Church. So that was one of the many things that John and Connie were involved in. So John and Connie, it's really interesting. I was trying to find a couple of photos and I couldn't find it. John and Connie contributed thousands of dollars to the Rotary Foundation. You contribute $1,000, you become a Paul Harris Fellow. If you will, I don't know it's quite exactly the same. It's definitely not exactly the same, but it's similar to like an Eagle Scout or a Gold Award. It is the highest honor that you can get. You contributed $1,000, and John contributed several $1,000s and had many of his family members who were recipients of his generosity as Paul Harris Fellow. So it is, there's no question that whenever John and Connie were making out their plans for what they wanted to do with their estate, Rotary played a role in that. So John and Connie's daughters, Beth and Meredith, when their will was read, Beth and Meredith got in touch with us here at the foundation and provided that $10,000. So what we are working on doing, we're working on creating what's known as a hand up and down. We're working on taking that $10,000 and we want to grow it to $50,000. And we want to take that $50,000, put it into an investment, and then every year use that money as a hand-up style endowment, hand-up meeting. Somebody, and there's a variety of different places and ways that money can be spent. But we're thinking in terms of, first of all, how do we raise it? We need 3 gifts of 5,000. We need 6 gifts of 2,500. And we need 10 gifts of 1,000. And I'm happy to tell you, actually, as of today, we've already raised, before I even mentioned this to all of you, we've already raised $21,000 towards this $50,000 goal. And there's several of you in this room that have already committed to me verbally, or people that have maybe not given me a specific dollar amount, but you said, yeah, I'll contribute. Our goal is to have a one-time effort to raise the $50,000. We're not going to be using this to create another golf outing or a play shoot or some dinner. We're going to want to create this one-time endowment, $50,000. It's going to be housed in the Florence Rotary Foundation. And then every year, we're going to be working with local nonprofits in order to give or to contribute a certain amount of that money every single year, with the intention of having that relationship continue year after year. The foundation is going to have a committee that's going to then contribute money. The foundation is going to solicit applications. A Salyers family member is going to participate in who the money is going to be awarded to. Then we are going to be contributing to the organization. And the intention here, as an example, let's say that there is a nursing student who needs a certain amount of money for books. Let's say that there is somebody that has intentions of getting a CDL, commercial driver's license, but has some kind of interference that's prohibiting them from being able to get that CDL, to find that new way of life. Those are the kinds of folks that we're wanting to identify and to contribute in order to perpetuate this generosity that John and Connie had over the course of their work. It's also not out of the question for a contribution towards polio. Absolutely. It was when John came back from Africa and was telling the story, it's one of those, it still gives me goosebumps thinking about how much that impact that he had giving that polio vaccine to that child in Africa. It was pretty incredible. So I want to tell you a story. Okay, thank you. On the table, we're wanting to just make sure that we have an idea of who might be interested in contributing. Again, our goal is to do this as a one-time thing. We're trying to make some one-time asks so that we can then create this endowment and then get into the process of contributing it on an annual basis. The reason I posted this particular photo for so many reasons. Every single time that I wore this tie, in the same way that all the time Connie would come up to me and she would say to me, aren't you one of mine? Every single time I wore this tie, John would come up to me and say, that's a nice tie. I think that's one of mine, isn't it? No, John, not one of your ties. So when I was going through and I was trying to find pictures, it's funny actually, John and Connie's daughter, Beth and her husband, Don. So Beth and Don are parents. They have their kids go around, my kids go around, we're all in band. So I've been seeing them from time to time. And I mentioned to them the story about the tie. Well, Don, John's son-in-law, tells me a story about a time. How many of you all can remember how John would dress, how sharp he would dress, and how he would always be wearing it? Well, anyway, he was walking with his son-in-law, and they were walking past the store somewhere in this, I think it was like Montgomery, Ohio. And there was a really nice sharp looking tie. So he goes inside. He says, I want that tie. And so the person goes off, takes the tie out. Yes, sir, that'll be such and such $100. And he was like, what? Well, that tie was the only tie that Don got from all of John's. He could have given each of you the shirt 3 ties alone. Nevertheless, we're working on trying to create this fund. We're working on trying to identify these organizations that we can make a difference with through a hand-up grant, and we'd like you to participate. If you have an interest in participating, please take the moment to put your name and phone number and address down there. If you feel compelled, if you knew John and you feel compelled to make any contribution, we would certainly appreciate it. But for today's purposes, we just wanted to make sure we gave some interest. I took this picture and I made it last for 2 reasons. One of them is there's my friend Billy with his baby face. But two, I like to think about, I look at this picture and I like to think about this is how John's looking down on us. I know Connie's in heaven because she taught middle school and she was married to John. I always told her that too. I'm pretty sure John's in heaven. He might have had a little bit harder way. But I like to look at this picture in particular because it reminds me of the smile, and I believe that John would be smiling down upon us today, especially today when we're talking about all the great things that we do in Rotary. So thank you all for your attention. I appreciate your time.
We're running a little bit over here. We wanted today just to give you a little bit of slice of what Rotary does. Rotary is this huge onion. The more you peel the layers back, it's unbelievable of an international organization we're part of.
Good way to put it.
It is, it really is. I mean, it's unbelievable what this organization does locally as well as internationally. We'd like to invite you back. We meet every Monday at noon right here. And again, thank you for coming.